Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to another season preview. I'm Aaron Schneider, Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us for our softball season preview is head coach Tony Holloway. How are you doing today?
Good. How about yourself, Aaron?
Good. First let's kick things off. You had a solid season last year, finishing third in the conference. What would you say your goal/expectations? I guess from a performance and a non-performance standpoint, just what your goals and expectations are.
Well, I'd like to get off to a little better start. If you know, we was very inexperienced last year, starting out the season, got off to a slow start and finished up pretty strong, I felt. Kind of what we've really put into play in preseason right now is to get over the newness of not having a lot of experience like last year and going into the start of the season. We want to start out hot, put a few W's on the board. We're a little more veteran than what we probably would have been had we not been starting young last year.
Okay. Going into so my next question is, what would you say your team's strengths are for this year?
Well, I think the team's strength right now is the fact that we got a lot of young people last year experience that they probably wouldn't have got in the way the season had been projected to go out. I'm really happy right now with our defense. It's probably the strongest part of our team right now. I can't really say hitting and pitching because we haven't seen a live game yet. So let's be honest. We can tell on the defense right now that we're not making mistakes, but until we see live hitting and our pitchers get a throw live, I'm not real sure. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right. So now going into things, let's talk about your key returners. You've got a lot of people from a really good recruiting class, a couple of them actually, who a majority of them had their first full year of collegiate experience last year. As you said, a lot of people going into their second year as a starter. Tell us a little bit about some of those returners that you expect to make an impact for this year.
Well, a lot of it with the way our lineup is, especially in the hitting order, Aaron, evolves around our 1-2-9 hitters. Jaden Brown had a phenomenal year, made the all-tournament team at the conference. She's going to be in that leadoff spot. We're looking at Taylor Johnson in that one of their what we call our 1-2-9 positions. She's a slap hitter, got a little bit of power, 4-year starter for me back this year to play left field. She would be our anchor in the outfield as far as experience. Our pitching, the only thing I can tell you about that is all of our young pitchers from last year now have a year's experience. We're trying to get over a few bumps and bruises right now. Just getting Lexi Rankin back into the fold. Still have Lexi Kern there. Got senior Amy Cook. It's going to be a versatile player. Going to do some pitching for us, but wouldn't be afraid to use her other places. And then, got a couple pitchers that we just got to wait and see. A couple young pitchers that we think is going to do some good things. And we got to transfer in from up at Michigan. So I think our pitching staff, if nothing else, has the depth that we'll need if we're going to contend. Okay.
And then you went into it a little briefly, and obviously without the live reps, it's hard to say for sure. But who are some of the newcomers that Raven fans should know and people should keep their eyes on?
Well, we've got when I talk about one of our 1-2-9 hitters, we've got Kayla Dillinger that's coming back into our program as a freshman. She brings us a dimension of speed, slap hitter, got a little bit of pop. Looking for her to be a table setter for us. If she can get on base with the speed that her and Jaden possesses, we ought to be really able to manufacture some runs. Our middle, we have Ashley Wheeler and Faith Muterspool coming back. I think we've added a bat in Molly Buck, a freshman. And then we got to have some other things come on. We got 2 young ladies coming back from knee surgeries in Ariel Lee and Alyssa Marson, both starters for us last year, both key players for us last year. And right now, we're just trying to get them healthier every day. They're released, they're ready to go. But you know how it is when you're coming back after a long layoff. We got to knock some rust off. We got to make sure they're ready to go. And that's what's going to help us, I think, down in Florida with the way our schedule's set up.
Yeah, so you have 4 games down in Florida, and then you follow that up with a really tough Pioneer Classic, 4 games in Elizabethtown, Kentucky for a classic hosted by Transylvania. Tell us a little bit about these next 8 games and what you expect out of those.
Well, I think, the next 8 games, as you mentioned, Aaron, is a very strong schedule. With that being said, we're going to play 2 really good opponents down in Florida, and the whole Pioneer Classic is just loaded with talent. For us to get through that, we just want to come out and compete. And when I say compete, we want to be in every ball game. We don't want to go down there and fall down in a game or not be prepared. But I think if I was looking at the HCAC correctly, Aaron, I think we're the only team in the conference that hasn't played yet. So that's going to be a little bit of a handicap to us going to Florida, going to the Pioneer Classic, is we don't know what to expect right now until we get some games in.
Okay. And then talk us a little bit about the remainder of your season. You've got a loaded non-conference schedule, as you always do, and the HCAC is going to be competitive again. Mount St. Joe received a national ranking. Transylvania is obviously going to be in the contention for a conference title. Tell us a little bit about the slate that you have for the rest of the year.
Well, we get out of the conference. We all understand what Transy's done in the past few years, what Mount St. Joe's done. I do want to mention this. You got Rose Holman off to an 8-2 start this year.
Mm-hmm.
But when we go, we tried to put our non-conference schedule to make it as strong as possible. I feel like we play very good teams. A lot of the teams are ranked. But I'm under the philosophy, if we're going to compete, we got to learn how to play with those teams out of the conference. It's going to be in the postseason tournament, and we've got to figure out ways to win. And I don't want to tell you that I'm going to guarantee that, but I'm going to tell you, I think we're looking at a much better season this year because of the experience we gained last year.
All right. And then finally, what does your team need to do this year to be successful?
I think that more than anything, because we don't have that proven 2 or 3 year starter, with the exception of, you got Ariel Lee that's battling back from an injury last year, and Taylor Johnson. They're 4-year players with us. Amy is our other senior, along with Mackenzie Beatty. Those 2, I got 4 seniors, but we don't have a lot of depth coming back. So what we have to do is we have to not play young to start out with, which I hope we got over last year. And the other thing is we got to be able to play team ball. We've got to understand that each of us will have an individual job to do, but we can't reach where we want to be if we cannot get over the individual stats and worry about the team stats.
All right. Well, I think I've covered the questions I wanted to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along with any more content we put out on YouTube, any more season previews. of course, follow along with your Anderson Ravens softball team. All of the games should be available on live stats while they're in Florida and Kentucky. Coach Holloway, thank you for joining us and good luck this year.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.